I think after this chapter, nobody can deny that Togata is probably one of the best characters of Boku no Hero Academia. And the reason why I say that is because of what this chapter meant for Izuku and Togata. Izuku should have been the one to go into that room and try to cheer up Togata. He should have been, because, number one, he has a quirk. Technically, he came out on top in this arc, and he proved he could definitely do great things in the future once he gains control of his quirk, one for all. But despite all of that, he holds a tremendous weight on his shoulders, which does make sense, fits with his character. And we do know that Izuku, as a hero, as a person, he always should smile. This is something he's adopted. We have seen this. We have seen it from him firsthand, especially when he was fighting Overhaul. And in this case, he should have been the one to walk into that room, smiling, being happy, cutting up, joking, and all that, but he wasn't. He walked into that room, and you could just see the very depressed look on his face. And he had gloom. It was a very gloomy atmosphere that he brought into the room with Togata, which makes a lot of sense, because you have it to where Izuku, he knows firsthand what Togata has lost, and Izuku is also very aware of how it feels to be quirkless. He knows how that feels. He personally knows. He was born like that, and so he definitely understands the position that Togata is in. And in this case, when he walks in that room, it wasn't Izuku cheering up Togata, but in fact, it was Togata cheering up Izuku, which doesn't make sense when you think about what's going on in this scene, because Togata's in the bed. He should be in bed. He's in the hospital. He's being forced to stay extra because the doctors want to watch him to make sure he's okay, which makes a lot of sense, because he's just lost everything. I mean, he's lost his quirk, which he spent over a decade, a long time of his life, just trying to get good with. And as I've already said many times, losing something like that would break a person. I mean, if you spent hundreds upon hundreds and thousands of hours trying to get better at something, and then all of that progress was lost like that, you would be depressed. There's no different question, no answer to that. Like that, there's only one answer. You would be depressed. That in a discussion, you would be legit upset. And so that's the logical outcome of that. But despite all of that, he realized what he needed to do in that moment. He pushed on through. He decided to continue to fight for Eri, keep her safe, protect her. Even without his quirk, he was fighting a monster like Overhaul, quirkless. And I mean, let's think about this for a second, okay? Look what Izuku was fighting, okay? When he was able to go 100%, go all in and all of that, even then, Overhaul was crazy. He was like an N-tier level villain. He was ridiculously OP. He was crazy strong. And you needed like 100% one for all to be able to bring this man down. But you have to have someone like Togata that didn't have a quirk. He was able to somewhat hold his own. He wouldn't have been able to defeat him, wouldn't have been able to bring him down, but he was able to hold his own, which just proves that Togata is not a joke. He is insane, and he pushed aside his own depression, his sadness, for the sake of being a hero. But even then, once all of that is off the table, though, then he loses his mentor. The very person that caused him to smile once again. The very person that made him realize he had a purpose. He could do great things. That very person that made him what he was to that very day, that pushed him forward, he lost. And after all of this, all of these losses, he has lost his teacher, he has lost his quirk, all of this time, he has lost so much, he still smiles. And Izuku should have been the one to walk into that room, put on a happy face, and smile. But he wasn't. Someone that should be the most depressed person in the area was smiling, putting on a smile, and just looking at Izuku, cheering him up, and telling him to look forward. Just think about how powerful that scene is. The qualities in Togata's character. He's such a quality person and a hero. For him to be able to do something like that and cheer up Izuku, that's something else. It really is. It's a very strong individual to be able to do that. And he, despite all that, we see that he's upset. We saw him frown. For a quick panel, we saw him frown, which shows Yes, he's upset. That's not gone. He's still very, very upset. But he realizes that Night Eye placed a lot of trust in him, belief, and like, you will be able to be happy. Everything will be okay. And he smiled. That was his final thing that Night Eye did. He smiled and he died. And so, you can look at it like this. You have to where Togata realizes that he wants to honor his mentor and put on a smile and continue to be what Night Eye saw in him. And so that is why he shows that face, why he puts on a smile. But anyways, though, I like how Horikoshi handled this chapter. And what I'm saying is how he emphasizes that there is a possibility maybe one day Togata will gain his quirk back, which is to be expected, because, number one, from what we could assume from, Eri's quirk, is that when it rewinds things, there is a potential possibility that his quirk could be gone for maybe like a couple years and then it'll come back. That could possibly happen because his quirk factor will just have to come back in again. So that could possibly happen. He'll be without a quirk for maybe 2 to 4 years and then it will be back. Now, even if it's not going to come back, there could still be a possibility that Eri could revert that and then bring his quirk back. But even then, if that doesn't happen, there could possibly be other ways for his quirk to come back too, because we do know that the world is very vast of Boku no Hero Academia. There's many out there that have insane quirks. I mean, look at Eri, for example. Let's look at, Overhaul. Let's look at, All for One. I mean, let's look at One for All. There is obviously ways to give quirks to other people, or bring back quirks. And so in this case, I don't think it's necessarily GG for, Togata in terms of him ever having his quirk back. However, I feel like he's going to have to earn it. He's going to have to spend a lot of time, a lot of years focusing and improving upon himself and proving that you don't necessarily need a quirk to be a good hero. And I think that's probably the message here, what's showing. And this also lead to, Izuku's growth as well, to realize that even if he wasn't gifted his quirk from, All Might, he still would have been able to probably become a hero if he wanted to stick to it. So I feel like that's the role that, Togata is going to play, which I would really love if that is the direction Horikoshi wants to take the story. And I do think he'll eventually get his quirk back, but I don't think it's going to be for a very long time. It's going to be a long time until he gets it back. So, anyways, besides that, let's talk about the beginning of the chapter. So, we have the next big crucial plot point being introduced. Gran Torino, what he was doing. So, as we know, Gran Torino has been kind of MIA for a bit. We don't really know what he's been doing, and we finally got confirmation of what he was doing, and apparently he was tracking down, our friendly person from the league that can be quite the troublemaker. It could easily mess up almost anyone, and in this case, Gran Torino tracks him down, and apparently there was a contingency plan. All for One managed to have this faithful servant called Giganto. I think that's how you pronounce it. Giganto, we have seen him off and on. We've seen him like only twice. We've seen him earlier on, a very long time ago, when like the league was, first forming. We had, everybody coming in and all that. And then we saw him in a flashback with Kirishima. We could assume that was him in the flashback. So, we've only seen him twice. And we could obviously see that Horikoshi has been building up this character for a while, and I'm kind of curious on how strong he really is for this to be, All for One's hidden weapon, his secret backup plan and all that, if all hope is lost or whatever. So that must mean that this man is ridiculous. So I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to seeing exactly how strong this man is, and if Gran Torino can even stand up against this man at all. Hopefully Horikoshi doesn't, skip over that. We don't get to find out the outcome until a very long time. I do hope we find out very soon. Anyways, the final page of the chapter also sets up for more screen time or panel time on, Todoroki and Bakugo. So, that's very good news. I mean, that's very good news. I mean, we all, I think, really love Bakugo and Todoroki, and seeing how they're going to be once again in the spotlight, having a little bit more focus, it seems like we're going to be getting like a Bakugo and Todoroki arc. So I do hope that happens, because I do like Todoroki, I do like Bakugo, and I would love to have an arc kind of focusing more on them, especially with all the foreshadowing and build up to, Dabi and all that from the league. I would really love to see like Todoroki confronting him. I'd love to see Bakugo as well. It'd be very cool if, an arc focuses around that. But that's about it. So the chapter overall of Boku no Hero Academia this week felt very short. It was only 14 pages. very short. And it's not the equivalent of One Piece, because One Piece had a lot of double spread, like, pages, to where, like, 2 pages equaled into 1. That was not necessarily the case for this chapter. There was a lack of pages, I noticed, for this chapter, which is very weird. I hope Horikoshi's health is okay, because we do know that he's been taking breaks a lot more recently, which, as I've said, there's no problem with that. I have no problem with the man taking breaks. I think we can all agree with that. We shouldn't have a problem with the man taking a break, and even taking time off to research things and figure out where he wants to take his story. But he has been having some health issues recently, so I do hope that the reason for the chapter being a little bit shorter than normal isn't because of health issues. I really hope it's not the case, because I would hate to see someone as good as Horikoshi as a writer and all that succumb to health issues, because we do know when it comes to mangaka, they don't have the best schedules in terms of how they handle their life and all that. So I do hope it's nothing serious. I hope this isn't warning signs for future stuff for, Boku no Hero Academia, potential long hiatuses. I hope it doesn't, but I just wanted to point that out, that this chapter definitely was a lot shorter than normal, and I hope it has nothing to do with the health problems he actually has been going through. But oh yeah, one last thing to, mention before I end this video. Apparently, we're going to be getting another character popularity poll next week, so I'm looking forward to that. I'm really looking forward to it. I better see my boy Togata at number 1. If Togata is not number 1, I'm going to be upset. I'm going to say right now, I'm going to be upset. I will legit be upset if Togata is not number 1. But I want to end it there, so let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe. If you like this video, please leave a like. And if you don't like me and you don't like this video, also leave a dislike as well. So, love you guys. Please be safe. Chibi out.